it's important to keep in mind that you're competing on a national level, which means you may compete this weekend in California, but next weekend you might be in Chicago or Louisiana or Rhode Island. You never know where you may end up. So it's also important to keep in mind that what may be acceptable here in Los Angeles may not be acceptable in other parts of the country. And because you're on that national level, you would like to satisfy everyone's taste and good taste. Let's take a look at some of my favorite outfits. This is my Rocky outfit. This is when I use the music from Eye of the Tiger. Each of my forms I only did for 1 year, except for this one. This one I eventually, because it was using boxing hands, kickboxing, and karate kicks, I got actually asked to do it at a lot of kickboxing and boxing events as like the in-between rounds or in-between fights, intermission kind of routine. And it was actually very exciting, and it really fit because it was choreographed to use in a 20 by 20 ring, which is the same size that they were fighting in. So let's go on to the next outfit. This is my next outfit from Phantom of the Opera, the musical play, where there was the man with the half mask and the woman Christine, where I played both parts. I would introduce myself like this and move back into my ready position, and I would turn around and place this mask on like so, and turn around and begin my form with the mask on for the rest of the routine. A lot of people got a little weirded out by this, but it actually was kind of cool. And here's my next outfit. This was Fantasia, Sorcery Apprentice, the little Mickey Mouse, but we're not allowed to say that because Disney gets upset. But with this one, we tried something a little different. The mask didn't really work. The Rocky didn't really work. This time we tried a magic trick because Sorcery Apprentice was kind of magic, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. So what we did was we had a little contraption in my hand, which magicians use, which shoot a flame out of your hand and happened to be able to shoot two. So I would shoot to the left, and then I would shoot to the right, and then I would throw it to the side to my dad, and then I would begin my form. It was kind of exciting and another little trick, if you want to call, to get people's attention into watching your form. Because I've also found that if you have the crowd on your side and they're into your form, the judges seem to enjoy your performance a little bit better too. And here's my next outfit, one of my favorite. This is when I finally began to win. Thank God. This was from Cirque du Soleil, which is the Circus of the Sun, which is it's in Canada, Montreal. It's the circus that comes to town. It's not your average circus. It's a little different. But what it is, it's the Circus of the Sun. So what we thought was this is more of like a sunburst, and it really fit the title of the music. And it's very fast, different kind of beats, outrageous kind of music, sort of French background, very different. And this just really fit it, and it really, really did well for me. And that was one of my favorites. And here's my favorite outfit, the last, James Bond. I was 007. It was the most fun I had competing in all my years. So just remember to keep in mind that pick something that suits you, that flatters you, that goes with what your music is. You don't necessarily have to say, if you're a gentleman, take off your jacket, just take off your jacket. That's not the point of what we're doing here. The point is something that goes along with the music to be creative. Now, it doesn't necessarily take lots of money. You can take, for instance, I used to compete against a girl who didn't necessarily have a lot of money, and she would take a plain white gi and put it in some pink dye, and it was a light pink gi. And it was just something a little bit different that was competing with something that I did. Just a little, you know, idea you could use. Not necessarily something to go out and have custom made. There's always little tricks you can do yourself. So in creating our forms, it's important to remember that we have the whole floor to use, not just a small area. We want to take advantage of everything we've got. It keeps the judges and the audience interested. They never know what you're going to do next. So here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to stay right here and just do our form in a very small area and be done with our form in this small area. We've got the whole floor to use. So here's an example of something I used to do that took me up to the front, across the front, back, diagonal. I would start sort of towards the back of the floor, and I would come out, then I would move my way forward. From here, I would then go out to the side, and then go straight across the front. Then eventually I would head my way back towards the corner and finish up back in the center where I started. So really, you've got so many options, so many different combinations. It's nice to pick your favorite combinations, pick an area where in the form you'd like to put it and find a way to connect them with your next favorite combination using all the floors and getting you all the way across everywhere. So there's lots of ways that